Good morning, church. My name is Matt, and this is my journey to Jesus. I was born and raised in a small town in Indiana. I have an older brother and parents who were school teachers, and overall had a great childhood. I went to college right after high school, but was uncertain about what I wanted to do, so after changing majors a couple of times, I decided to sit out after my third year. I knew I'd return at some point and finish my degree, but at that time, I felt too uncertain about a lot of things in life. A few weeks into that summer, my cousin called and said she had got a job at the University of Miami and that I should come visit her for a weekend. After thinking about it long and hard, for 2.5 seconds, I said yes. I quickly picked up extra shifts at work, and before I knew it, I was in Miami the very next month. My cousin and I had a great time. We hit the beach, toured Miami, and in grand Midwestern fashion, ate all the Cuban food we could find. The long weekend flew by, and it was time to return home. My cousin threw out, "Oh, by the way, if you ever want to move down, you can stay with me until you get on your feet." I flew back to Indiana, thought about it for another 2.5 seconds, and 2 weeks later, packed up my car and moved to Miami in August of 1992. I settled in and began working and playing. Beach, party, food, fun, friends was quickly a rhythm I adopted and stuck to as a 21-year-old looking for life to the full, or so I thought. It was that same rhythm that also landed me in some hard times and low places. Over the next 4 years, as I suppressed any notion of God in my life from my Christian upbringing, I pursued an imagined life built on hopes and dreams. As I leaned into a pattern of self-gratification, I found myself following the well-disguised voice of Satan on a path to nowhere. I was looking for fulfillment, yet no matter what I tried or tasted, I was always left empty. The beach was beautiful, and so were the people. But beneath the surface, they, like me, were shallow and empty. As the sun set and the beach emptied out and the nightlife began, small-town Indiana turned into big city Miami in my eyes and in my actions. Sin was rampant in my life and had no limits. Impurity led to immorality. What began as cigarettes in high school became marijuana in college and drugs in the bars. Drinking in high school and a party here and there became all-nighters, hard alcohol, and oftentimes dangerous situations with the wrong crowd. Over the next few years, the cycle continued and always left me thirsting for more. A near DUI, growing credit card debt, and friendships that seemed to come and go like water, life in the world on the streets began to wear me down. With little hope or direction, I decided it was time to go back to school. In the spring of '97, I enrolled and set foot on the FIU South Campus after sitting out of college for 5 years. I was ready. I knew I needed to focus, so I poured myself into my studies and stopped everything else. Near the end of my first semester while studying for finals, I was outside taking a break, still smoking a cigarette, and Kelly Jones walked up to me. He was a complete stranger. He invited me to a Bible study that we're having on campus in about 20 minutes. Unfortunately, Bible was not in my vocabulary at that time, and I didn't have 20 minutes to sit around, so I said no thanks. Kelly, however, was also from the Midwest, and we began talking about where we were from. The next thing I knew, 20 minutes had passed, and I was walking to the Bible study with him. There were 5 or 6 other campus disciples there, and they all had Bibles. Someone shared with me, and before reading the passage, Kelly asked the question, "Do you think you can ever be fulfilled in life?" With no intention to speak, my hand somehow went up, and I said no. I believe you can put your effort and heart into one thing and be happy, but I don't believe you can truly be fulfilled. He then turned to John 4, where Jesus talks with a Samaritan woman at the well, and tells her in verse 13, Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again. But whoever drinks the water I give him will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give them will become in them a spring of water welling up to eternal life." It was as if the last 5 years of my life were put before me in that moment. And as I looked around at the disciples, I saw light and life in their eyes that I didn't have. I said I would go to church on Sunday, and we parted ways. On my way home, my thoughts were running wild, and for the first time in years, I felt hope. That night, I told my friend and roommate about what had happened at school, the random Bible discussion on campus, and then I paused and said, "I think my life is about to change." I studied the Bible for the next 2 weeks, and 26 years ago, on April 27, 1997, I was baptized into Christ.